Shalom. I'd like to start off by giving all praises, honors, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ha'akakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well and still do. Salutations to the Hakim on the highways and hedges and the four corners, preaching his word with truth and sincerity. And shalom to all you sincere listeners. As I'm meditating in the spirit, watch a couple of apostles, elders, and Hakim's videos, getting edified. Came across this news article, was reading a little bit of it, meditated on some precepts. Was going to get those precepts, read the rest of this, and Lord's willing, this lesson to be edifying. This is just another strike against Babylon, and how we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, that America is done. And you Edomites are done right along with it. Thousands evacuated over fast-moving California wildfire. Thousands of residents are evacuating areas in Northern California as an uncontaminated wildfire races towards several towns in the Sierra foothills. Yeah, and this is not the first time that fires have just started out of nowhere in California. The Camp Fire, which started early on Thursday near Camp Creek, has been fueled by strong winds and dry forest. Neighborhoods, schools, and hospitals have been evacuated, while some residents in the town of Paradise were trapped by the flames, officials say. Yeah, and these fires are nothing but biblical judgment from the Heavenly Father. And let me prove that real quick. Get a quick precept. Because all these fires are just ways that the Lord visits. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 29, and 5. More, verse 6. Yeah, thou shalt be visited of the Lord of hosts with thunder and with earthquake and great noise, with storm of tempest and the flame of devouring fire. Yeah, so the Lord letting you know that whenever you see these things take place, that's how you know that the Lord is coming for a visit. And particularly, he's coming to visit you no good so-called white people, which biblically your name is Edomites. You stem from your forefathers Esau. This is Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 8. Flee ye, turn back, dwell deep, O inhabitants of Dedan, for I will bring the calamity of Esau upon him, the time that I will visit him. Yeah, and as you can see, Salaki, as you can see, you Edomites are being visited by the Lord. You're going to look up that word visit, just for edification purposes.
Strong's H 6485. Pakad.
Yeah, and it means to attend, to muster, number, reckon, visit, punish. That's the point right there. Appoint, look after, care for, pay attention to, observe, to attend to. But yeah, there you go. That's the main definition I was looking for. To visit means to punish, to judge. So the Lord's going to punish you Edomites when he's coming to visit you. And how he's going to punish you? Through the waves of those different storms and whatnot. Authorities said there are unconfirmed reports of casualties. The campfire has burned through 20,000 acres as of Thursday afternoon local time, according to California fire officials. As winds approached 50 miles per hour, causing the fire to grow rapidly in just a few hours, some residents were forced to abandon vehicles and escape on foot, local media reported. Yeah, you're damn right, because this fire being spread is all ordained from the Heavenly Father, This is the book of Luke, chapter 12, and starting at start at 49. I started at 47 because This also goes into a prophecy. You know, Apostle Tahar deemed this year 2018, the year of prophecy, and these prophecies is coming to speak and not lying. And if you woke up to this truth, especially if you call yourself a man of the Lord, a man of the Lord would be prophesying, you know, being a faithful servant, if you will. This is Luke chapter 12, verse 47. And that servant which knew his Lord's will and prepared not himself, neither did according to his will, shall be beaten with many stripes. But he that knew not and did commit things worthy of stripes shall be beaten with few stripes. For unto whosoever much is given, of him shall be much required, and to whom men have committed much of him, they will ask the more. Yeah. And this is pertaining to you slothful servants, you know, like Apostle Tahar saying, you know, the men that know what to do and don't get it done, they're going to be beaten with many stripes. Like pertaining to the book of Revelation, the 3rd chapter, you know, the Lord would rather you hot or cold, but since you're lukewarm, he's going to spew you out of his mouth. You know, Apostle Tahar said you should be on fire for this thing, because you see the prophecies coming to pass. So, you know, there's no time to get lazy and lackadaisical. This is the point. 49. I am come to send fire on the earth, and what will I if it be already kindled? And this is all written in the red letter, letting you know that was Yahushua speaking, letting it be known that when he comes back, he's going to wreak damage. He's going to shut it down, if you will. You know. Further south in Ventura County, near Los Angeles, strong winds are preventing efforts to tackle another massive blaze. A few miles from the scene of a mass shooting in Thousand Oaks that claimed 12 lives on Wednesday. Yeah, and that's talking about that little bar incident. Most likely it was another false flag, you know, through the spirit. Because we're not ignorant of Satan's devices, you know, like pertaining to the book of 2 Corinthians, the 2nd chapter. You see these different pictures and whatnot. This is Esau trying to sell his story as usual, play on the minds of the layman people. Evacuation orders are in place in Northern California for the town of Paradise, home to around 26,000 people, as well as Magalia, Concow, Butt Creek Canyon, and Butt Valley areas. Emergency crews are working to rescue residents trapped there, he said. At least one nursing home in the Feather River Hospital were evacuated, and several homes were on fire, according to the Sacramento Bee, and the region is covered with thick, dark smoke. Yeah, and to be honest, that reminds you. That reminds you of the day of the Lord, because it told you in the precepts that the day of the Lord is going to be a day of darkness and gloom. There's Amos chapter 5, verse 18. Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you? And the day of the Lord is darkness and not light, as if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him, or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall, and the serpent bit him. Shall not the day of the Lord be darkness and not light, even very dark and no brightness in it? Yeah, and this is exactly what's going to happen in the days of the Lord, when the actual day of the Lord's return. Because it tells you in the scriptures, saying into the book of Matthew, that no one knows the day nor the hour that the Lord is coming back. Only the Father in heaven knows. You know, and so you being a faithful servant, if you believe in the Lord, you would continue to work until the kingdom come. And when the kingdom shall come, and Yahweh shall crack them clouds to redeem us. Lord's only to be part of that number. Actually, before I get that again, let me get this. Book of Zephaniah, chapter 1, verse 14. The great day of the Lord is near. It is near and hasteneth greatly, even the voice of the day of the Lord. The mighty man shall cry there bitterly. That day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness. Yeah, and those wildfires are like a little how would you put it? A warm up or appetizer towards the actual fire that the Lord is going to send to this place. You know, like pertaining to the book of Job, the 20th chapter. How fire not blown shall consume him. And that him is talking about you Edomites. You know, a spokesperson for the hospital operator, Dignity Health, reportedly told Action News Now that Feather River was later destroyed. Thousands are also without power in the region, which is just north of Sacramento. Yeah, so as you can see, that's a picture of California right now. And it looks like that's something that you don't do. One Paradise resident who fled the encroaching blaze told the Bee it was so hot you could feel it. Others described watching flames consume their property as they evacuated. The blaze is one of 14 currently active in California. Officials have put most of Northern California under a red flag warning, which means extreme fire behavior can occur within 24 hours. Yeah, and rightfully so, because the Lord is judging America, point blank period. And contrary to popular belief, I believe that right there in California, San Francisco, Los Angeles, San Diego, Sacramento, Oakland, wherever you would go, that place is the most wickedest and demonic place of all, because that's Esau's kingdom spot. On social media, many have been sharing images of highways and roads flanked by fire or covered in heavy smoke and asking for help to evacuate friends and family. And let me get this real quick, because this is that reminds me of this as well. The book of Psalms, chapter 110, verse 3. Thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power, in the beauty of holiness, in the beauties of holiness, and from the womb of the morning thou hast the dew of thy youth. Yeah, and this is pertaining to you Israelites, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, but in this sense, it's pertaining to you Edomites. Because now you're calling on the Lord, asking for help, and help from various other people. Saying and all the Lord did was send a little fire. Well, not a little, but sent many fires to you, rightfully so, because you're not gonna get right. There's the book of Hosea, chapter 5, verse 15. I will go and return unto my place till they acknowledge their offense and seek my face. In their affliction, they will seek me early. Yeah, and this is talking about the nation of Israel. 2/3. You start catching hell, that's when you're going to be looking for the Heavenly Father. But by that time, he will have his men in in their secret locations and dwelling places. Resident Shari Bernasette told the Associated Press that she knocked on doors and yelled and screamed to get mobile home residents to leave as fire consumed the hillside. The whole hill is on fire, she said, while crying, God help us. The region has grappled with serious wildfires, including the worst in the state's history, the Mendocino and Thomas fires, on and off since 2017. And yeah, as you can see, these people are saying that the whole hill is on fire and God help us. Was that Cherie Bernasette saying God help us? And to be perfectly honest, the God is showing you help. The God is showing you help and love by destroying you wicked ass, because you're not going to turn back to the law, statutes, and commandments of the Heavenly Father. Let me get this real quick. It's the book of Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach, chapter 39, verse 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. Fire and hail and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. Yeah, I mean, this is clearly what you're seeing. Verse 30, teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents, and the sword, punishing the wicked to destruction. Yeah, and this is what you're seeing. All of these different spirits of vengeance the Lord has out here to appease his wrath. Because pertaining to the book of 2 Chronicles, the 36th chapter, once the Lord gets angered, to kindle his anger, he has to catch a body. And I never understood that until being in this truth a little bit longer. You start to pick up on certain things and gain experience of the knowledge and the wisdom. And then, and then you start to understand, to apply what you've learned to your daily life, If you've been watching the news and paying attention to the signs, then you know that the Lord is fitting to return. I'm going to get this. It's the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 9, verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. When thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then thou shalt understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest began to visit the world which he made. Yeah, and we're in that time. Certain prophecies have already came to pass, and more prophecies have to come to pass in order for the Lord to make his way. But we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai that even though it tarries, we're going to wait for it because it surely shall come. Like pertaining to the book of Habakkuk, 2nd chapter. Verse 3, therefore when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. This is the point. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest, even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonders and powerful works and endings and effects and signs. Yeah, and this is exactly what you're seeing. This wildfire, the Chicago, this California, Northern California wildfire is a quick testimonial to the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai and his spirits of vengeance that are appeasing his wrath. So you Edomites got a whole lot more to look forward to. Ultimately this fire is going to be turned into the nuclear thermal fire, and America's going to go up like Sodom and Gomorrah. So yeah, the Lord's willing, you was edified, like to give honor, praises, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Harukakodash. Double honors to the apostles, elders of the great millstone. Shalom to the elect, death to America.